Welcome to 11th episode of Heal with Emmy. I am today in my boxing gym in Tulum in Mexico, and I have brought my coach in and also a very close and old friend of his that he has met through boxing.
Yeah, we're in the middle of the avenue, so we have some noise.
But that's so, I feel it's so authentic and I love it. I should have mentioned that in the beginning that I said we are in the boxing gym. That comes with noise as well.
Yeah.
But it's nice to change it up and not always be in my studio.
Welcome back to Heal with Emmy. I am your healing bestie, and this podcast is for you who wants to heal, who wants a life of abundance, and for you who just stands out of the normal crowd. For you who knows that there are way more to life than what most people actually think.
And today I am super curious, to be honest, about your story. I have been for a while, because I'm very curious about the people I meet when I do travel, and I meet different people that in some kind of way inspire me. And you, to be honest, are actually one of them. A person I will always remember no matter where I am in the world, because you are the opening to my boxing passion. And also I have, in my way of boxing, found out that it's so much more than just fighting. I mean, for me, I have even started to say that boxing is a dance between two people. And also, I feel there's a lot of mental things in boxing. And one thing I have developed a lot while I have been in your gym is resilience. I have gotten much better. And I have also just started in one kind of way to believe more in myself than I already did. So, to make the listeners meet you first, Abril, I'm super curious about, like, how's your story? You told me you've always lived in Tulum, I think, but how did you grow up and what made you open a gym?
Okay, so well, my name is Aldrin, and I'm 30 years old. Maybe I don't look like 30, but I'm 30 years old. And one of the things that makes me open the gym, it is exactly what you said. Just believe in yourself. At the beginning, I was very nervous. I felt very afraid of what people's gonna say. You know, this is a very natural feeling in all the humans. You know, to be afraid of doing something new. Then once you start, you can never go back. You need to give a little bit more. So, well, I've been living here for my whole life. But I never care about sports, nothing, no football, no uh, taekwondo, boxing, nothing. I was a very, very quiet and regular guy. My the first sport that I did was soccer, but I never liked that. Then tried to do basketball when I was 16. I like it, but to have a team was very complicated. And then I was into the music. I learned to play many instruments, and rock music was my passion as a teenager. Then when I start to grow, I start to think that I need more care of my body, of my mind, my mental situation. Then I start to go to the gym to do some lifting. Yeah. And I don't like it too much because I had some issues. I want to talk about that because that was, the first door that I knocked to be introduced into sports. A friend of mine told me that I was a little bit overweight, and that was real. Now I'm 74 kilos. That time I was 90 kilos. So it's a huge difference.
Yeah, a huge difference.
But as I mentioned, I was into the musician life. I used to have my band. I used to write songs. And I don't want to say that my overweight was because of the musician life. But in that time, I used to drink too much alcohol and, very bad food, fast food and snacks, chips, also cigarettes. That was the reason of my overweight. And I never cared until I saw a picture of me. And I said, now it's the moment to change my life. And also my friend helped me to get into the sports. He told me go to the gym, do some lifting, eat better, and I did it. It was 2016 when I started,
Wow.
so 8 years ago. Then this obsession of getting fit, of being in shape, was very start to grow, was stronger,
Yeah.
and my will to get fitter start to grow also. So I start to get, um, whey protein and
Yeah.
these powders that help you to push your heart to do things faster.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna add a question to that before we come to your story. I hope that's okay. Um, I feel that a lot of people who I connect with and that I get curious about always have the same point of no return at some point in life, that we hit a wall in some kind of way and it just feels awful and we don't like the person we are, and there just turns on this fire inside of us that just wants us to change and wants to feel better. But do you remember how you felt in your body when you were overweight and also mentally? Like, do you want to describe that? And versus like also how did you feel when you changed that?
Yeah.
Because I completely understand this. One day you find something and it's just like never anymore, and then you just change.
So in that time, I was really confident with myself. With myself, I never had a problem that my belly is too big or something like that. I never cared about that. But when I start to lose weight, I realize the difference between the me of 1 year ago and then. So I did a comparison. Now I can run better. Now the my clothes are very loose.
Yeah.
That kind of small details make the difference. For example, eating some tacos before and then eating some tacos after was like you can eat three and now you are full. And after that, I eat three tacos and I feel I need more. But I put my stop and no, it's okay with three. And so what I mean is that to do a lot of exercise makes you to eat more because you spend a lot of energy. But there's something curious because you need to control yourself, your mind, and that's the hardest thing, no? To say stop to yourself.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So true.
At the beginning, sometimes we never care. Yeah, we do what we like, go to the party and we don't care about the how we're gonna feel the next day.
Yes.
So then when you start cheat your life, you go to the party, you feel you need to be in the bed at 10 p.m. because you need to do, yeah, I don't know, maybe you need to work or do exercise or something, take your dog to the street, walk, then you're gonna feel very bad because you didn't sleep very well.
And rest is your most important medicine.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am a very big fan of the rest. You know?
Me too.
Three things very important for me. It's the exercise, sleep, and eat. You know, of course, you have other things to do, but if you don't rest very well, you don't have the energy to do some sports. And then if you don't eat properly, you don't have the energy to do sports, or you're gonna sleep very bad.
Yeah. So true.
That's true.
So true. One last thing I want to ask about while I remember it. When you drank and partied a lot, I have like two ways I see it. Either or both, we drink and party a lot because we are running from something or self-harming. My listeners know that I have talked about that. I did that as well when I was younger. Or we are simply just not kind of enlightened enough that we are not really in line with our life purpose, and maybe we therefore tend to drink and party. And my question is, do you know, if you reflect back on it, what your reasons were? It's fair if it only was for joy, but do you think there was something more behind it?
I think there's something more behind. For example, one of the humans behavior maybe from the ancient people is to be part of a group. For example, the caveman, they used to hunt big animals in a group. Nowadays it's still the same, so you need to be part of something, of a group of people, of friends, or or a team. If you play soccer or baseball, it's completely natural to be part of a group. So I think that that was my need because I was very, very, I don't know how to say
In Spanish?
en español, alguien cerrado, very,
Super shy and closed.
yeah, super shy because at my 13 years, I started playing guitar, so I prefer to be in my room playing all the time. I don't care about friends, nothing until my 19 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
But once when I start to felt that I could be part of a group, I tried to fit. Doing what? Doing what they do. And what was that? Drink, party, and smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the reason.
That's so good you mention it because I feel that in some ways we are developed, but in other ways we are still the same Homo sapiens as we developed back then. And some parts of our brains are just the same. And the reason we want to be in group is because we are flock animal. So our brain will tell us that if we don't have a flock, if we don't have a group, we are more exposed to danger. And if we feel afraid, I mean, that happens in our brain. And I think that's why we tend to make choices that might not be our own, but we need to take that choice to fit in. And we kind of like lower our real self. And it's so crazy to see that you speak about how shy you were actually all up till your late teenage years. And now you have, you're a coach, you have a boxing place, and I see you when there's new students coming, you're so nice and speaking to them. Like you're super open now. It's really crazy that changed so much.
That's hilarious because I used to be very shy and I prefer to avoid people and not to speak. I don't want to be in the front in the school. I don't want to do anything in front of the group, nothing. But when I had my heavy metal band, I wanted to be at the front. I want to be that people pay attention on me to sing what I'm playing,
So cool.
But out of the stage, I don't care about anything.
Yeah.
I just want the attention when I'm on the stage. After that, it's okay.
So even though that you were drinking and having like toxic choices in your life, when you found something you truly were interested in, you were actually willing to stand in the light,
Yeah,
show the world what you had. That's really inspiring.
something that I really like it is to teach what I know. If I don't know too much, doesn't matter. If you don't know something, I'm gonna be there to help you, to teach you to do it properly. And also, I'm open to receive some uh, additional information. If I'm wrong, I'm very open to uh, another point of view.
Yeah.
And I was curious because when I start to teach, I never care. I just want to, well, I wanted to the people do like I'm doing. So I don't care if you're a beginner or professional, do what I'm teaching. And that's not good because that's why you are the front of a group of, of a lot of people. Because if someone doesn't know you're there to help. Help. I met a lot of people in this career that helped me to, to communicate, to speak, to move, to be in front of the group and how to help them. And sometimes I ask everyone, "Are you okay? How do you feel?"
Yeah,
For
it's
example, when we train together, I always ask him, "How do you feel today? Ready? How many rounds?" Yeah.
Wow.
So I know how to push him. Yeah, what to do, what not to do. Yeah,
Always developing.
yeah. And back to the other story. When I was into the gym doing lifting, suddenly I had a heart attack. No, I didn't finish with my workout. I just left the weights and I walked back home. I ate something. I took a shower. I took my guitar and started to play. Then something in my head told me, "You're gonna die now." Then I had a panic attack. My heart started to beat very, very fast. I left my guitar on the bed and I lay on the floor, uh, hoping that everything's okay. I felt someone, I remember that I remember someone watching me falling into the void, I felt the floor of my room opening, like an abyss and a very black hole. I remember falling there as my heart started to beat very, very fast. And then I got into my bed. That problem still hitting me in that time. I don't remember how I fell asleep. At the next morning, I said that was just a battery. And all that problem still in my heart. And I said, I need to get some air. I need to walk. I took my boots and then I start to walk in the avenue. I remember feeling that pain in my heart, in my mind also because I was afraid. I had some episodes of anxiety and some panic attacks suddenly. I remember being with my friends playing cards and then something told me you're not okay. Something's gonna happen. You're gonna fall.
Whoa.
And I remember told to my friends, I need to go home. I'm done. Yeah, that problem. I had it for 6 months. Yep. But something that helped me a lot to deal with that problems, with that demons, was doing CrossFit.
Okay.
Yeah, I was afraid of the sports because first thing that I thought is that shit's gonna happen again. I'm gonna die. Something's gonna be very wrong in my heart. Something's very wrong in my mind. I cannot focus anymore.
No.
And then I had, I don't know how to explain, but I felt that all my feelings were disconnected, you know? When you disconnect
Yeah, yeah.
your mobile from the charger, I felt all my feelings like that. And for 6 months, I start to, to discover every feeling again, all the feelings that I had for 22 years. I start to discover again how it feels to, to touch something, the mosquito bites you,
Wow.
a headache,
Wow.
everything. I start to feel it again. Sometimes when mosquito uh,
Nice.
bite me, I start to feel what happened, what's this, no, what, and what went wrong. I start to sweat.
Like you were starting all over.
Yeah, I
Wow.
start everything again.
Okay.
And when I was into the CrossFit, I was very focused on what I was doing. And when I start to lift something, and I got, all the scars on the arms, on the legs, I felt very normal. Oh, I know that happens because I lift and all the weight was in my legs or my arms. It's completely normal. And that helped me a lot for this process to be faster, to understand everything, And I did 1 year of CrossFit. Then I felt that I need something more, All that shit in my brain was out.
Wow.
I was completely recovered. And then I started to do Muay Thai.
Okay. So
7 years ago. So I used to do my first hour of CrossFit and then my second hour of Thai boxing.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And I want to come back. I hope we have time to come back to the story about how you felt this anxiety. But I want to give the word a little to you. Because and we come back and forth.
Yes, sir.
So I want to hear, like, let's tell the listeners a little about you too. You're not from here, actually. You live part time another place too, I know.
I don't know if I wouldn't say I live part time, but
Okay.
I'm a partner in a boutique fitness gym in Toronto. So I go back to connect a bit with the team. I'll go for like maybe a month out of the year, usually in the summer. Um, so yeah, like majority of the time, like almost full time, I'm here. I'm living here.
So nice.
So I think
And what is your story? When did you come here? And how did you come into boxing?
I started Muay Thai about 18 years ago. And I always loved martial arts growing up. I couldn't used to learn off watching Van Damme and Power Rangers because I couldn't afford going to a gym or just copy things in my house. And then eventually I started like doing little jobs and saving up to pay for a membership at a Muay Thai gym when I was like 17 and just kept going in that direction of Muay Thai. But I was also unathletic, out of shape, teenager and growing up before that, always picked last or not at all in the schoolyard and picked on and all that stuff, all the cliche things that I just kind of said, okay, enough. I want to not be out of shape and not feel so insecure and took, did a lot of mistakes in fitness and learned a lot. And then I started going to school for it because I became so fascinated with it. And then I became a fitness trainer and worked in many gyms while training Muay Thai. And then I started a personal training company where it was a mobile service. and there was a team of trainers. We would bring equipment to people's homes in the city of Toronto.
Wow.
And years after that, I approached one of my good friends to open boutique fitness studio that's not about fighting. So it's Muay Thai experience, kickboxing experience in a group class environment, but there's no partnering up, there's no sparring. So it was like to the community of fighters, it was looked at like not a good thing to do. But it also gave a gateway to people that would want to learn some empowering way of exercising and not want to go to a fight gym.
Yeah.
So there's different ways of looking at it. Yes, I'm not teaching people literally how to fight and how to spar or how to hold pads for each other, but they're getting a workout and they're striking something. They're developing the skill. They're not getting hurt because there's a coach there, but they're not becoming fighters, nor do they want to be, nor did I claim to teach them how to fight. So that was their kind of middle ground. So we opened that boutique studio in Toronto. We franchised. We opened a lot of locations. We got about 6 locations. And then the scamdemic came along and closed us. And it was very emotionally challenging for me because I went from being a part of a big community, like Aldrin said, that's what we strive for as humans. We want to be a part of things. So I went from being a part of a big community of 6 different locations in the city to all of a sudden everything being closed, and my views weren't the same on what was happening. And I realized I was more alone than I actually thought I was because my opinions weren't mainstream and therefore looked at as very bad if I would express that to anybody.
I get that.
So, and then it just took me more in that direction and more in that rabbit hole of like, what's really going on here? And then it opened up a whole way of thinking differently, but that's another story. But so because of that, I felt so alone, and all of a sudden I had no purpose. Like my gym is closed. I'm not a coach anymore. I'm not a personal trainer anymore. What am I? Who am I? So, I mean, I can't even say why. I just decided I want to come to Tulum. And the only reason I knew about Tulum is because 8 to 10 years ago, there was a lot of influencers coming to my studio at the time, and they would always talk about this magical place called Tulum. And I knew nothing about it. And then fast forward almost 10 years later, I'm like, I remember hearing about this place that everybody was talking about.
Yeah.
I'm going there. And I just didn't know a thing. I just booked the flight and I came here for 2 weeks and I just felt connected. I was like very much a tourist during those 2 weeks, but I still felt connected. Spoke to my business partner. I said, I think I'm going to come back here for a long time. Went back and just finalized some things, got my dog at the time, and we came here 4 years ago. And that was it.
That's so cool. So you actually came in COVID.
During, the heart of it, right in the middle.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how was, not that actually we don't have to speak a lot about it, but how was Mexico in COVID time versus Toronto?
Toronto was very closed, very, wear a mask, get your vaccine, don't open, don't hug your mom, don't go to a wedding, like hide in a room and just order alcohol to your room and just continue to be unhealthy and take all the drugs that the government gives you, but don't take any vitamins or anything, or don't have a healthy lifestyle. Here, it was hard for me to say exactly because I wasn't a part of a community yet. No. So it was very surface. But I would go on places and they would demand wearing a mask. So I would like participate in a bit, but things were open here and people were living.
Okay.
So there was a little bit of the fear base here, but no, not nearly as much as anywhere else in the world. And I could say that Tulum was like one of the most free, open places during COVID. And that's why a lot of people were coming here.
Wow.
A lot of people that didn't really follow the narrative and that weren't fear based and that thought, okay, I still want to live. Where are people still living? And Tulum was, I think, for the most part, more open than the rest of the world. But I became very not into it as much, I say, of the following the narrative and, wearing a mask and all that stuff. So it was hard for me to be in the main city and I felt more connected here.
So it was actually during COVID that your more conscious self was developed?
Yeah. You could say like, the start of a new kind of awakening and growth and involvement started during that time. So a huge blessing in disguise for a time that was very hard on me in terms of closing my It wasn't because we closed because we weren't doing well. We were one of the busiest gyms in the city of Toronto. Our biggest problem was that the classes were over capacity. People couldn't get in. So it wasn't because it closed because, just didn't work out. It was closed because the government just said no.
Yeah, yeah, I get.
McDonald's can be open, the alcohol store can be
Yeah.
open, but the gym needs to be closed. And it was just very hard on me to,
Yeah,
so I just started researching what's going on here. This doesn't make sense. At the beginning, I was like, "Oh no, let's get the mask on. Let's hide this. It's everywhere. It's on the door handle. This scary, But then I started researching, and then coming from a fitness background, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Why aren't we strengthening our immune systems? Why aren't we, looking for healthier lifestyles? Why isn't there other avenues other than take a jab, wear a mask, and go hide? So I just, that took me into a very awakening to state, and it's not over. It's a never ending journey, but it definitely, blessing in disguise, um, allowed me to open my eyes to a lot more truths that I believe in now.
yeah. I completely get that actually, because I mean, it was the same in Denmark. The gyms closed, and I remember like a lot of people were speaking about why do you want to close the gym? Like that's the thing that always should be open. And it's an interesting thing that you mentioned because maybe if I would make a state of opinion on this one, it would be the government are promoting the more unhealthy choices. Like, why is drinking so normal, but less people are doing some kind of sport?
Yeah.
And for me also, that's super interesting because I grew up in a family where my mom always forced me to do like at least 2 sports and 1 instrument, like my whole childhood. So for me, it was the most normal thing. And it wasn't before I became a teenager that I found out that so many people had never did any kind of sports. And the older we get, the less people do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why didn't they make it? They made it mandatory to take a vaccine. Why didn't they make it mandatory to sign up at the gym
Yes.
when it was over, or other things? Like I saw other countries were doing certain things, like to instill a healthy lifestyle, and it just seemed like Canada was not. It was. I mean, not to turn this into a conspiracy podcast, but
That's completely okay if you need
in
to.
my opinion, they make money off the sick, not the healthy.
Yeah.
So that's why it was,
That's true.
it's a lot of what is true. We don't really know what we're seeing on TV, what we see in the news, how much, in my opinion, is true and how much is it for their benefit. Follow the money.
Yeah.
And then you'll get a lot of answers. And that's what I think, sadly, that was about mostly.
I actually haven't spoken about COVID in my podcast, but I have spoken about like, what does the news do to you? Have you ever reflected on that the news are only, bad news? And also what happens, like I even started researching scientifically what happens when you hear bad news. And also I have the Ayurvedic point of view about it. So it's not a stranger topic to my listeners that I also have these opinions. A fun question. Why or like how do you think that people would react if society made it obligatory or some kind of way to go to a sport versus, taking a vaccine? How do you think people would react? Do you think such a society could exist?
I think it would take time. I think a lot of people, sadly, are very programmed in the other way. So now you would be introducing this whole other way, and you would get a lot of resistance of it. I think more than people appreciating or seeing the benefit of it. I think people are comfortable in their just take big pharma, just go to my doctor and just deal with the symptoms, not the solution. Sadly, the easy way out, even though it's not an easy way out, it's just a band-aid for more problems down the road. But waking up early and getting the right sources of nutrients and putting the work in and developing a healthy lifestyle is hard.
It's actually more effort, yeah.
It's like, we're like the 1-2%. So more people, sadly, would be opposed to it. And I am more confident in that answer because I saw the other way where the government was saying, don't worry about being healthy. I'm just going to give you this drug.
Yeah.
And just go hide and put on a mask and all these things that are just away from health. And everybody was like, okay, what do I do next? Rather than if they would have said, okay, we need to start taking vitamins. You need to drink water. You need to meditate, practice mindfulness, high frequencies, things that are going to keep illnesses away, which takes work. So I think people sadly wouldn't align that, it would take a big transformation and a lot of time and consistency with that push. But maybe one day,
we could be lucky. Yeah, the world would be a healthier place. I think also why people are more drawn to just take the unhealthy choice is my mom always said one thing, that the news has one objective, and that's fear. As long as you make people live in fear, they will do anything. So if you tell them, oh no, hell and death, take the vaccine, of course they would do that. But you can't really compare a healthy lifestyle to health and death. And I think you also see a lot of people that are going through these very shocking health issues. And when they get on the other side, that's where they change. Yeah, just something quickly I wanted to add to that.
I remember when I was a kid, I just said jokefully once, I'm like, why is the news always bad? You never turn on the news and they're like, everything's good today. Go back and enjoy your day. No, it's a list of fear-based. Like, why do I need to know that there was a tragedy in a down street? Why do I need to know that I mean, people would argue that I can make a difference with my awareness and maybe protest or maybe do some posts, but like you go on about that, it won't make a difference. It's just going to create divide and fear and low frequency living. I haven't watched the news in 5 years. I'm doing good.
Yeah, me too.
So I don't see a benefit, and I don't think anybody can actually prove a benefit of watching the news. So
yeah, that's exactly my opinion too. I think I spoke about it a few episodes ago. Yeah, exactly the same. I want to hear a little about your stories together. And you're both free to talk over and across each other. So whenever something pops up, just say it. Eldrin told me a little how he met you, but I want to hear it from you too. If you want to talk about it, because how you told me, this is actually the first time you and I have a longer conversation. So in reality, I really don't know you that much, but I know your energy. I can feel it. And how he met you versus the energy I got from you the first day I met you at the gym, that's like two different persons. So I don't know if you want to go a little into that. Yeah?
Yeah.
And you can both tell from how you met him and how you met.
Yeah. I remember like 3 years ago, I remember I met him. I was working in another gym in Aldea Sama. So the gym is not there anymore. Well, I was working at the front desk. I wasn't coach or nothing. I was there to, to receive the people, to explain how everything works. Yeah. And I remember one day I was just there in the front desk. He came, he just told me, I want to sign up for a month. I don't want to take classes. I want to use the gym. I just want to do my own thing. And I said, okay, let's go. So every day I remember watching him walking through Sawadika, Buenos dias, good morning, walk to the end of the gym, doing his own thing, some lifting, punching bag, or just sitting there taking a break, stretching. That was every day. No, for me it was a little bit, weird. Yeah, normally people used to go to take a class or do sparring with someone else or some neat session pad work, but he was completely different. So, well, it's his world. I respect it. It's okay if it works for him. It's okay. He's okay. I'm okay. We're good. Yeah. And then, with the time, he started to ask me, "What about if I pay you just fall fast for me? I need some rounds." I say, "Okay, let's do it." Once we have time, we start to do some pad work, and it was like once a week. Yeah.
But you didn't even want the payment. Didn't you told me that?
Yes, I
That
told
in the
him.
beginning you said, I don't need payment
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that.
it's okay. Don't worry. And I say, no, come on, take it. No, no, it's okay. You need it. No, it's okay. Don't worry. He said, okay, and okay. So maybe buy some wraps or the mouth guard or something. And yeah, then we separate. He did his own way. I did my own thing. Also, I stayed in the same gym. Then on December from last year, I decided to, to separate from that gym and start my own thing. Some of the guys I just train pushed me to do this project. So they told me, come on, just do it. I want to train with you. It doesn't matter if it's in the street or on the beach or in the park. Or, it doesn't matter. I want to train with you.
Cool.
And I said, okay, I did it for 2 months. Then on February, I start to build this thing.
And round shit it was born.
Round Yet was born. For example, something curious you never asked me before. It's why the name?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it when I found the gym. I was like, why is the first word English? That's actually the only thing. Shete, I don't know. There's probably something about it, right?
Yeah, siete. Well, it's 7.
Yes.
Yeah. As I mentioned, I start this adventure 8 years ago, but there was no martial arts, nothing. Yeah, it was just for fun. Then when I start to do Thai boxing, then I wanted more. I tried some MMA, I tried boxing, I tried Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then it took me 7 years to teach. That's why.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
So it took me 7 years to be here to have this place, you know. And also because there's a very famous boxer who said in an interview, in the boxing fight, there's 12 rounds. The 6 are physical, the other 6 are mental. So on the round number 7, it starts the most important fight, the real fight.
I'm getting goosebumps. Yeah.
It was curious, but it takes me 7 years, to build this.
But that's so nice because from my point of view, I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with boxing places, but I can see the energy you put in it and the energy you bring into the gym every day. And I think it's just another perfect example on that no good results that truly comes from your heart comes quick. Like you have to keep going. And if you truly keep going about something you love, you will at some point, you'll build something amazing. And you built that. It took you 7 years, but it's amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's 7, 10, or 20. I'm okay. I feel happy. I feel very happy to see you every morning, see you when it's possible. Yeah. And also, I know sometimes when you come in the morning, I have a very, very tired face, but it's not because I'm tired or I'm sad or I'm angry. It's just the mask that I use to avoid all bad energies on the way from home to here.
Okay.
Yeah? So once we are here and we start to stretch, that mask, I'm gonna keep here.
It's so true.
Then I'm gonna use it when I close the face.
I have noticed. Okay, that's really cool. I'm gonna bring that into my life too. Yeah, that's cool. To remember to put that shield on because there is a lot of good energy, but there's also a lot of bad energy wherever you go. Because it's so true. Like I see you every morning, and I'm like, see us, and immediately when you start, you change. Yeah, that's really true.
We're sometimes doing jumping jacks or an exercise or something, we start to laugh. We start to, to make some noise.
And you speak more than immediately when you start.
Yeah, sure.
That's so true.
I tell when I train your coaches in Toronto to become coaches, one of the main lessons I tell them is so many things are going to be going on in your life. You have to essentially become an actor or actress. When you come and you step into, we call it the beatbox, it's essentially you have to become this motivator, this coach, this person that's going to bring happiness and good vibes to the class. They don't want to feel your visa bill. They don't want to feel your breakup. They don't want to feel your rough party weekend. So you have to come here and put it on, whether you feel it or not. So that's the sense of being a coach, is regardless of what he or coaches are going through, when it comes time to being in that role, nothing else is going to interfere with that. I'm here to motivate you, and I'm going to be in that role.
That's so cool. That's something I struggle a lot with. Something I want to learn. Yeah.
One of the things that interesting point that he didn't mention, and maybe not even know how I went to that gym, is when I initially moved to Tulum, I wanted to keep up with my training. I was always coaching other people, but I wanted to train for me to keep up with. And I would look for someone to build pads for me. I would look online and I found someone, and then she left Tulum, and then I didn't have someone again. So I looked it up again and I found a gym, the Asama. And I went there before I met Albert, and I booked an appointment with one of their coaches to build pads for me. And the reason why I was always hiding in the corner is because getting into Muay Thai and getting into fitness, I was always insecure and I didn't like classes. And then when I went to a Muay Thai gym, they pushed me to do classes and I kept getting hurt. Or I would partner up with somebody that would try to prove something and be too aggressive. And then I just got turned off and I wasn't learning. I was either holding pads for someone else or mismatched, wasn't vibing. So I went up to one of the coaches this was in Toronto when I started. And I said, can you just train me privately? And I did that for like 7 years with him before I did like my first fight. So then fast forward, I just was the guy who just never liked classes. And I came here and I'm like, I want to keep training. Where do I go? So I booked this one-on-one and I show up at the gym and the coach wasn't there. Someone else was there. And he's like, you're not supposed to be here. Not professional at all. Not welcome. Sorry, there must be some mistake. We'd love for you to come back. How's tomorrow? Just, you're not supposed to be here. This is advanced fighter class. And I'm like, I have an appointment. And they're like, no, you got to leave. You're not supposed to be here. Like, just opposite of how I think you should welcome someone, especially in fitness and especially in the fight industry. You should be that much more welcoming if you want to succeed in membership. So I left and I just was like, this place is not for me. And months later, couldn't find anywhere. I'm like, I'm going to go back and try to give this place another shot. Maybe it'll be a different experience. Everyone deserves a second chance. And then that's when Aldrin, total opposite vibe, professionalism, welcoming, aligning with what I am and look for. I said, I'm not into classes. I didn't give him the rundown, but I just said, I'm not into classes. Can I just do my own thing? And then it led to training me.
Wow.
So yeah, that's why I was the weirdo in the corner.
Well, sometimes we are all the weirdo in the corner. You need it every now and then. Yeah. Wow.
It was a process with him, like, like step by step to start to approach. And then we start to follow us on Instagram because we normally post the video of the session,
And then I even taught a few classes there. But it didn't work out and I just went my own way and then he went his own way and then I saw that he opened his own place online and then I was like, now I have my place.
Yeah, I'm following, definitely.
Yeah. I just told actually he asked me when we're gonna do some session.
Oh yeah, it was even before you opened. And then you said, yeah, wait, I'm opening something. And then I was like, all right, great. And have some.
Because there was a time when I used to train at 5 a.m.
I remember the videos.
Yeah, running or do some shadow boxing or in the beach, at 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. So he asked me, you're a very morning person. Let's train together. And I told him, yeah, just let me open my new place. Gonna be ready soon. And then we start training. Then now this year. Normally we train on Saturday, sometimes Wednesday, depends. Yeah.
So,
Becoming an entrepreneur and opening your own place, it's like having a baby.
yes.
All of a sudden, you just give everything to the business and not enough to yourself. So as an entrepreneur for a majority of my life, I always had to seek out a coach to train me or else I wouldn't train. And I remember I jokingly said that when he opened, I said, who's going to train you? Because now you're going to focus so much on this. It's hard to start thinking I need to train myself every day. You just think, no, I'm second, just like a parent. I'm second. I got to think of the baby. But like I always told my clients that were pre and postnatal moms and fitness, I'm like, just like they tell you on the plane to put the mask on you first, you got to take care of you first. So it's important for owners, gym owners to find their coach too. Even pro athletes have coaches. Everyone, it helps. It makes a difference. So it's good that I found one.
Something important that she said, it's who's gonna teach you, who's gonna train you, because I ask myself many times why someone has a gym in Canada, he's a coach, maybe has more experience teaching than me. Why he's asking me to hold pads? Yeah? So I say, well, I'm gonna answer me. He's putting his trust on you, helping. He wants to train. He wants to, to discharge of all this energy, maybe emotions. Maybe you don't know what he's carrying on him, so he wants to take that backpack out and just, let let him be. So that's why I thought, yes, okay. And also he helped me because he gave me also the confidence to train everybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's beginner or medium or advanced. Doesn't matter. But as he said, who's gonna train you? Now I start to felt in the same place he was. Who's gonna train you? I mean, me.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why sometimes in class I train with you guys because I need to do, I need to train with someone. Yeah. And also to show you that it doesn't matter if I'm advanced, if I'm the coach, if I'm the owner or something or provider. I can train with you if you are starting, if it's your first week, if it's your first month, or you have 7 or 15 years training. We can do it together. Doesn't matter. And that's why something very important that one of my teachers say, why we train barefoot? Because
I'm curious about that too.
we are all the same.
Huh. Because we are all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw in Bali in the gym I went to, they also had boxing, but they were all in shoes.
Their own shoes, yeah, boxing shoes. Normally it's this tatami, but everyone's on shoes. Or sometimes it's not a tatami, it's just, floor,
Yeah.
but everyone's in shoes. And also because I train more Thai boxing, which is barefoot, and that's one of the rules that I was taught at the beginning. We are all the same. Here, you are not more than this guy. He's not more than you. We are all the same. We train together. We are here to make this clock work. Yeah. And sometimes, as he said, train with other people could be complicated because it's normal that someone who has years training feels like he deserves more, he needs to fight, he needs more sessions of training, and he's not gonna train with the beginners. That's something of egos that I don't like too much. For me, we're all the same. Yeah. yes, I teach, but we still the same. Yeah. I'm not gonna hit you hard. No, you can hit hard, but I'm here to, to help you to control that energy, and then maybe in your experience in this gym, you have seen all this energy, how we flow with everyone. Sometimes you've been training just you, sometimes with a big group, and
Yeah.
still the same. Yeah.
I feel there's kind of a similar energy to both your gyms. That you are your gyms are a lot more including and a lot more like, let me teach you versus like, let me punch you or something. And, and I think that really is where the good fighters might be born. That's my thought.
It makes more sense for business, right? At the end of the day, it's a business. Yes, we're, probably one of the best types of business because we're empowering people, health, all the good stuff. We're not selling cars, but essentially it's still a business and you still have to pay and thrive. And one of the reasons that I want it to be all inclusive for every level, every person, every skill set, fitness, and of the art is because if not, you're just going to cater to the fighters, or you're just going to cater to aggressive, skilled. You're going to have like 50 members instead of hundreds. And this type of industry, it's a revolving door. You always need to get new people because very small percentage of your base is going to be a long-term client. People leave, people try new things, people get less motivated, whatever it is. So if you're catering to only the fighters, you're going to very hard to have a very big clientele base, which you're going to succeed in. So that's why I love the model of fitness mixed in. And that's why Smart Aldrin will be very inclusive to all and not, have an ego at the door or welcome everyone, because that's why he's going to have a better name, a better reputation. More people are going to feel welcome being here, and success will just keep rolling from that.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah, I mean, if I had come here the first day, I'm a complete beginner, then I would have been punched like crazy. I wouldn't come back the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a client that was training with privately here, one-on-ones only. She didn't do classes. And then after training with me for a while, she's like, I want to go do a fight gym. I want to try it out. I said, all right, great. I don't know where she went, but she said on her first day, she got punched in the face. She quit Muay Thai, not only at that gym, but with me. And we never sparred. I never even played the defense, nothing with her, but she was just so discouraged. She just said, it's not for me. And I tried to get her back. I'm like, you're just hitting pads with me. No one's hitting you. It's safe. She's like, I know, but I don't feel it anymore.
Yeah.
So that sums it up. You're going to not everybody is going to train like you. Not everybody's going to train like me. So if I went through a very hardship of Muay Thai because I want to be a fighter, doesn't mean everyone else is going to want that. And if I push that on people, I'm not going to have a fall.
That's true.
So also very important to identify the people who's gonna come to train because they want to compete, they want to, they just do it for health, or they want to, to practice to be in shape, but they don't want to compete. I have people that's very good, doing combinations, doing everything, but they don't want to fight. I have people that they want to fight, and I have people they come for health, and it's okay. We train together. Yeah. And also, for me, someone that trains for health can help you. Someone that's training to compete. Maybe just two punches, but he's gonna get tired. Just two punches. Yeah. And
I
also
yeah.
something.
No, sorry.
Something he asked me the other day. We were doing a very long combo. He told me, "Do your people do these combos?" And I told him yes. They just put the pad like this. You know what to do. Just do this. You know how where to move. You know where to punch. And it's interesting, yeah, because What I mean is that different gyms they have their own system. Yeah,
Culture.
yeah. And
Right.
with me, I met a lot of people that they say, "Wow, in my other gym it's different. In my other gym it's like this." Or we don't hold pads each other. Yeah, and it's like other way to teach and something that my logo said it's a boxing system, and it's not that the way I teach or the exercises we do here. The system, it's we are all friends, we are all the same, we're gonna help each other, and communication, it's very important, and all this kind of feelings. If something doesn't like you, you can go and tell, I don't want to do this. I want to do that. I need more. I don't feel okay. Or even sometimes I do when the people have an injury. Hey, you haven't been here with us training. Are you okay? What happened? I haven't seen you this week. You have a lot of job. Uh,
Yeah.
what's coming tomorrow or evening, or maybe we can do a class on Saturday. Just join. Yeah, that kind of communication. It's involved in that system that we create.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah. It's not just boxing, it's a community.
Yeah, it's not just we go and yeah, that's my therapy. It's okay. Yeah, some people they come, sweat, take, let's go.
Yeah.
And some people no, they want to be heard. Yeah. Sometimes the people just want to speak, to be listening.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes I ask people, "Are you okay?" Yes, but um, I don't have time for training. My hand hurts. And I tell them, okay, we're gonna do sparring. It would be okay if you come with me. You don't need to train if you're not feeling okay, but you can see your friends to see how they hit each other, how they train. Also watching is a very good way to learn.
Watching learn.
Yeah.
I think we have to round it up now. But you have been speaking a lot about health and boxing and so on, and you both have a lot of experience within it. So if there's like one thing, one sentence that you both want to give people for their health or for their boxing, or for example, for if someone feel that they need a change but they don't know how, what would you tell that person right now?
I would tell it's okay to be afraid. We are all afraid in different ways, but if we let the fear takes control of our mind, the way to open the door and escape would be complicated. So it doesn't matter what people gonna think. It doesn't matter what people gonna uh, say. Just do what you need to do. Don't ask permission. Don't You don't need to give explanations to anybody. Just let be yourself. Huh?
So good. Yeah. And yours?
Train your mind to train your body. It's always been my slogan. Everybody has a first day. Your mind can tell you every day 50 reasons why you shouldn't work out, but there's 51 why you shouldn't. Why you should. Sorry. More why you should. And just do one day at a time. Don't worry about, oh my gosh, I'm so out of shape. How am I going to keep up? What am I going to Just day one. It's today. Go do something. Put on your shoes. Just walk. Put on the gloves. Just jog. Move. Step by step.
Yeah. A little bit is better than nothing. So cool. Okay. One last question. So if I'm in Tulum, I definitely always go to round shedding. But if I ever would come to Toronto, where would I go?
Big hit.
Big hit.
Big hit.
Big hit.
Yeah.
So nice. And do you still have multiple places? Or
No, now it's just one corporate location downtown.
okay, I have a one-day train here.
Yeah, let me know if you're ever in Toronto.
Nice, nice. Thank you, guys. It has been a pleasure to have you on. And to everyone who's listening, I wish you a happy Saturday, and I hope this in some way motivated you, even no matter if you're shy or if you're already boxing, there's always hidden messages in all kind of sports that we do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now that was all from today. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you felt heard. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and find me on Instagram on Heal with Emmy to stay part of this conversation. Now all that's left to say is all the love from me to you until next weekend.